everyone, this is Nikki Burnette, and I wanted to make a video to show you how I use gel pens when I'm coloring over Grayscale. Since I've made my Grayscale coloring books, I've gotten a lot of questions about how do you use gel pens when coloring over Grayscale, or can you even use them? So I just wanted to make this video to show you how I use them. Of course, there's no correct or incorrect way to color. I always encourage you to use your materials however is the most fun for you, but I just thought I'd show you a couple ways that I use them and find them to be really handy when coloring over Grayscale. Let's see, first I wanted to talk about the image that one of the images I'm going to be using. This is Tulsa, and she is a steampunk girl from volume 1 of my Grayscale coloring book, the beginner's edition. This is available on Amazon if you wanted to color along with me. I'll put all the links below. I removed the image from the book and I'm coloring on a hard surface right here. And I've already colored quite a bit of the image. I've used markers to color her so far, and she has a lot of very fine detail. As you can see, she has lots of chains and gears and buckles, and I use Spectrum Noir markers when I'm coloring for the most part, and they do have a small end on the marker, but even the small end is too big to get in these areas. I find colored pencils to be a little annoying to use in small areas because I feel like I have to keep sharpening my pencil. Sometimes I don't have the patience for that. And I have used an ultra fine Sharpie or Bic marker, which definitely do work, but of course those do spread. The ink spreads outwards when you're coloring with them, so they can be sort of tricky in these small areas sometimes that you don't color outside the line. So I really find that the best thing to use in these small areas are gel pens, and especially for Tulsa, because these are all metallic metals, which metallic gel pens work perfectly for them. So this is the image I'm going to be using, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the gel pens that I'll be using. These are from Art and Fly. They're a very nice new company that's coming out with coloring supplies, and this is a set of 40 gel pens. And they have metallic, neon, glitter, pastel, and classic in here. And I did a quick little color chart for you just so you can see the range. You have the classic ones, the pastel, these are the metallic, the glitter, and the neon. They do have a very nice color range. I don't find that there's too many of some colors and not enough of others. I really like the whole range of the colors. What I really like the most about these gel pens is they have a very fine tip on them. Let me just open one for you here so you can see. I'm not exactly sure what size the tip is, but it is a very fine tip, which is great for small areas. The flow is very nice on them. I really like Sakura jelly roll pens. They are awesome gel pens, but sometimes I find the flow a little bit fast on those and the tips not quite fine enough for very fine detail. So these are actually the finest tipped gel pens that I've tried that have a decent flow on them. So anyways, I just wanted to tell you about those. Those are the kind of gel pens I'm going to be using. So I want to let's see here, just bring my camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm working on here. There we go, that's nice and close so you can see. I've already started a small section just to experiment to make sure it was sort of the look that I wanted to go for. And what I'm going to be doing is on her chains, I want to use this color. It's kind of like an orange coppery metallic gel pen, and then on the gears and buckle areas I want to use this color. It's more of a gold glitter gel pen. So and just to talk a little bit more about how to use gel pens while grayscale coloring, I wouldn't really recommend them for large areas. They're a very opaque medium. Some of them can even color directly over black paper, so that's how much they cover things up. And the whole point with grayscale coloring is to let the shadows show through. So you don't want to cover those up too much. So they're perfect for these small areas that you can't really get anything else into easily. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring. I always write a little bit first on a scrap piece of paper just to get the flow of the pen going nicely. So I'm just going to start coloring. And with the gel pens, I kind of don't go into those darkest areas and just sort of let those be so that those shadows still stay nice and dark. But you can see the flow's really nice on these pens. It's not spreading too quickly or going out of the lines, but it's still nice and fine and gives me lots of control there. So that was really quick and easy, and look how neat that looks. I mean, it gives it a shimmer. It looks like real metal copper chains. So I'm just going to keep going a little bit just so you can see some more. There we go. Maybe I'll stop there just so I can show you some other things. And you know, you do have to be a little, these are pretty quick drying, but I would still be a little bit careful to try to not to smudge them as they're drying. So there's that color. I'm going to switch over to the gold glitter gel pen. Again, I'll scribble just a little bit to get it going. And I'm going to color in this buckle right here. And I've tried coloring these fine details with other gel pens, and it's just very tricky sometimes to get them to stay inside the lines. I'll color this buckle over here. So you can see how quick and easy that is compared to using a colored pencil where you'd probably still be sharpening them. So there's that. Let me just show you how neat that glitter effect is on there. It gives it such a nice finish to the piece. Let's see here. So I wanted to show you another way. Of course, there's lots of different ways you can use gel pens in different images. This is another image of mine from volume 1 of my Grayscale coloring book. Her name is Brinley, and she's a dragonfly fairy. And I was thinking how cool it would be to outline her wings with blue glitter gel pen, to outline the wings and do the veins of the wings. So I started it right there. I'm just going to quickly show you. Sorry, I need to turn the page to get to it easily. But see, you can just keep outlining it. And these even color right over colored pencil, which I colored her hair very easily. And just outline her wings. Like that. And you can even do the veins. Really quickly and easily. Sometimes my paper, especially when you color over colored pencil like that, it kind of clogs the pen a little bit. So you just need to color a little bit to get, it actually picks up a little bit of that colored pencil. So that's why I was having a little bit of an issue there. So just color on a piece of cardstock to get the pen going again. There we go. Just one last little vein over here. And I'll show you what that looks like. So that's a really fun way to sort of outline or highlight different things that might be shiny in a grayscale coloring page. You can do different details on outfits or things like that. Another thing I wanted to talk about is especially when you use colored pencil, sometimes you'll notice you'll cover up the dark lines, especially around her eyes, and to have really nice dark outline on eyes is really nice. It just gives the piece a lot of life. So this is actually one of the few gel pens that I found that can do this, since it does have a nice fine point to it. But what I've started doing is, after I'm done coloring, I use and this one doesn't really need it because I haven't colored her skin yet, but once I color her skin, I'll probably cover up some of this really dark area of her eye. So you can take the black gel pen and just really easily make that darker again, and you probably can't see what I'm doing because it's already really black, but once you start coloring Grayscale, you'll understand what I mean, how you'll cover up some of that really dark areas. And this is a great way you can do the pupils to make them really nice and dark again. So that's another way. Any lines that you really want nice and dark, I would recommend a gel pen. A lot better than a fine tip marker or a colored pencil, because it's a lot darker. It'll stand out a lot better. I don't know, let me see if I can, you can see that kind of when I zoom in. It's a lot darker. You can see it with your eye. It's just really hard to pick up here. And then, so that's pretty much all for the Art and Fly gel pens that I wanted to talk to you about. I'll put all the links below on where to purchase these supplies. The next thing I wanted to talk about is getting a good white gel pen, and I would highly recommend it. I really like this one. I will probably butcher the name. Maybe Uniball Signo white gel pen. Let's see if I can focus on that. And they're really great for grayscale coloring because you'll find that you'll cover up highlights very easily, and your piece can get quite dark. For instance, up here on the feather, you can see I added just a couple touches of white gel pen just to see what it looked like, and it's so nice to add that back in. So you just take it and add little touches of where you want the really bright highlights to go. And even here on her goggles, you can add just a little line like that, just to really make it look like a glass lens in her goggles. Just anywhere you think the light might catch a shiny surface. You can even do it down here on the gears, right over the gel pen that you just did. You can just make little dots on the shiniest point of the gel pen areas. And it makes those chain links have even more dimension. The more contrast you have between your lightest area and your darkest area, the more three-dimensional your coloring will look. So try to aim for your lightest colors to be almost white and your darkest colors to be almost black, and you'll find that there'll be so much dimension to your work. This gel pen, I do really like it. I do find the flow on it to be a little fast sometimes. I think it has a 0.7 millimeter tip on it. I'd have to double check, but I think so. I do find it to be a little bit big sometimes. So just make sure you practice a lot before, because you're usually using it on a piece that's nearly finished. So just practice and try to scribble on your cardstock every once in a while to get the flow just the way you want it. I just wanted to show you another piece where I really used the white gel pen a lot to add quite a bit to the finished coloring. This was the finished version of that one that I showed you earlier. And as you can see, I added the white gel pen on her eyes to really make them sparkle, her lips, her wings, And then coming down, I even added a polka dot pattern on her skirt. So there's a lot that you can do with a white gel pen. I like that gel pen because it's very opaque. A lot of times they're too transparent and just sort of make a milky mess on your coloring. So this is a really good one to get. I highly recommend it. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this tutorial about gel pens. I hope you really enjoyed it and that you'll try using gel pens in your grayscale coloring. Thanks so much for watching.